Hi, it's me, Daphne. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing a long-awaited unhaul. I'm really excited to let these books have another life and, more importantly, make more room on my bookshelf. I live in a one-bedroom apartment in New York City, so I only have this one Billy bookcase, so I really gotta try to pare back my physical collection. I feel like we could fit another bookshelf, but my partner is not really sold on that yet, so I need to take some more time to persuade him. But until then, I am gonna get rid of these books and let's get started going through them. I will be either giving these books away to friends. I am in a book club, so I kind of want to offer them to my book club friends first, and then I'll be putting them in a little free library. I actually went by the little free library the other day, and the books I donated there back in December were all gone. So somebody took them, or people have taken them, and I hope they are enjoying them. And that just makes me really happy. So I'm glad that little free library is like being utilized in the community, and I'm happy to contribute more books to it. All right, that's enough of an intro. Let's get into the books. So the first stack I'm gonna go through are Book of the Month books. I enjoyed some of these, hated others, but either way, I don't think I'll reread them. So the first one here on the top is The Dating Plan. This is a romance between an Indian woman and a white man with like, I think fake dating. I read this so long ago. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I don't need to keep it. I was pretty much holding on to it because I thought the cover was pretty and it's just like beautiful purple, but we're moving on from that kind of mindset. This next one might be a shocker to some people, but I'm deciding to unhaul The Love Hypothesis. I had a fun time reading it. It was like 3-star vibes for me. I know some people are really obsessed with it, so hopefully someone else can really enjoy it. I mean, like I said, I had a fun time, but not enough to like need to keep it. If you don't know, this is a romance book about people in science, and yeah, it's a fun time. All right, this one I despised. Well, I had high expectations and I didn't like it, and it's Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. This is the first and only Agatha Christie book I've ever read, and I just wasn't vibing with the writing style that much. It's a lot of like just dialogue and not a lot of description, and I felt like the mystery was just kind of not that concrete when it came to solving it. Like the villain party just like confessed instead of the detective having hard proof. So I don't know, I just did not have as much fun as I wanted to have with this, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Though another stunning cover. If I had the space to be kind of conceited, I would just keep it for the looks because I just absolutely adore this cover, but I can't, I don't have the space. Then I have Upgrade by Blake Crouch. This is a sci-fi book. This is my first Blake Crouch book. I do want to continue on with the other books he has written. This was like his latest release in 2022. I buddy read this with Eliza, and it just wasn't as fun as I wanted it to be. It just was not that fun. It was a little boring, so it's gotta go. All right, this next one was like a last minute decision for me. So this is The Book of Longings by Sumunk Kid. This is like a feminist view on the time around Jesus and like when he was coming up and like people were getting to hear about him and stuff, but it's focused around his wife, if he had a wife, or did he have a wife? I don't know, I'm not religious. I remember enjoying it. It was very different than what I think I expected. It's not a bad book. I would still recommend it if you've read the synopsis and you're intrigued. I just don't think I'd read it again. Also another stunning cover. So I'm just gonna pass it along to somebody else to enjoy. Okay, these next two Book of the Month books kind of hurt because I want to have good diversity on my shelves, but I'm bringing in more diverse books, and I feel like it's okay to move on from other diverse books that I don't think I'll reread. So the first one is The Final Revival of Opal and Neve, and this is a story of like rock stars or something. It's like this British white guy and this Black woman from New York, I think, and how they join together to make like a magical musical duo. And it's like interviews as they're older, like interviews people around them, and like how they impacted society as like a biracial musical pairing, and yeah, it was like interesting overall, but I just think the writing style was kind of dry at times and maybe a little repetitive, and it just wasn't as fun as it could have been. Sorry, I'm a little itchy. Sorry, I keep scratching my face. So yeah, I'm just gonna move on. I really wanted to keep it because I was like, yeah, Black women in books, but I'm bringing in more diverse books, so I don't think I need to hold on to this and let somebody else read it. And then the last book of the month book I'm gonna unhaul is Razor Blade Tears. So this is a story about two fathers who had gay sons, and these gay sons were lovers. The fathers were estranged from their sons because of their son's gayness, and it's the fathers kind of trying to make it up to their sons after we come to find out their sons have been murdered. So the fathers are trying to figure out what happened, yada, yada, yada. There is a Black father and son pairing in here, so more diversity on my shelves. I read this in like 2 days. I don't usually read like action thriller kind of books. There's a ton of action in this if you're looking for that kind of stuff. So it was a fun ride. I read it really fast because I was like doing a readathon, so I don't know if that kind of like made my experience different because I was like binging it really hard. But yeah, the action in this was awesome, but I don't think I need to keep it because I don't think I'll reread it. Next, I'm gonna talk about two kind of contemporary, I guess, or closer to contemporary than some of the other books. I have From Where the Crawdads Sing. This was super, super popular, doing the circuits. It's probably still pretty popular. I really enjoyed this book a lot, but I don't think I need to keep it. I don't think I'll reread it. It's a story about like a little swamp girl and her kind of growing up and falling in love and being kind of an outcast in this community, and there's a murder. So it's like going back and forth in time, and yeah, it was actually really fun, but I have heard some strange things about this author. Doing some weird shady stuff in like Africa and killing animals, or like, I don't even know. I don't remember the details. I just remember she was being a bit shady, or her husband was a bit shady. So yeah, it just makes me feel kind of weird having this on my shelves. But yeah, this book was actually really good. I had a fun time. I would still like, I wouldn't not recommend it, that's for sure. But I think I'm ready to like move on and make space on my shelves, so I don't need to keep this. Then I have Well Played by Jen DeLuca. This is the second book in her like Renaissance Fair series. I have the other two right here, Well Met and Well Matched. The first one I actually really enjoyed. I would definitely reread that one. I think I like reread some of my favorite parts a couple times already. And then Well Matched was like, okay, like I was kind of on the fence if I should get rid of it or not, but I decided let me hold on to it for now just because it kind of matches, which is satisfying. And that's why I was holding on to this one for so long, because it was cute to have like all three, but this one was just really bad. It was bad. Like it wasn't even just like boring, it was just bad. So this one is like a catfish kind of thing, but I felt like the heroine forgave the catfisher really quickly, and there were just like logical things that didn't make sense to me that I found infuriating. So I like genuinely didn't like this book, so I don't think I should keep it just because it matches the other two that I liked more. Let's move into controversial. Controversial. But if you know me, you'll know, like you won't be surprised that I'm doing this. I am gonna unhaul. Hopefully I can give this away to a friend, because I did have a good time for the most part with these books. I'm just like over it a little bit. I was let down at the end, and I'm just over it. So I'm gonna be unhauling the From Blood and Ash series. I have 3 of the books. These are the first 3 books. So it's From Blood and Ash, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and The Crown of Gilded Bones. And I desperately wanted to love this series. I had such a fun time with the first one, and then had a fun time with the second one, even though I was like, wow, this book is really freaking slow. Like, where's the plot going? Like, usually I'm just a very character focused reader, but I need the plot to kind of like make sense. And the second book was doing things that made sense, but like so dragged out. And then the third one, it lost me. It just completely lost me. I skimmed the end because I was like, this is wasting my time. I just give up. And I know the series is like becoming like more complex with like, oh, the prequel series, and I'm just like, I'm over it. I can't do it anymore, guys. I'm so sorry. I really wanted to love it, and I want the next person to love it. I genuinely hope whoever gets like, I genuinely hope whoever picks up from Blood and Ash next just decides to pick up all 3 books, because like, what a freaking steal. You can get all 3 books for free. These books are heavy. This is like, I don't even know, this is like 15 pounds in my arms right now. But yeah, if you don't know from Blood and Ash, which I would be surprised, it's very popular, but if you don't, you know, that's cool. This is a series about Poppy and her bodyguard Hawk, and she is this like sacred maiden, and she's destined for this like special ritual that she literally knows nothing about, but besides the fact that like nobody can look at her, nobody can touch her, she has to wear like a veil over her face or whatever. And I don't know, she's like kind of accepting of this, but also like really rebellious and like learning how to fight and like sneaking out and like doing things for the people, and there's magic, and you know, things become revealed about other magical people in this world. And yeah, it was really, really good in the beginning, and then I just don't trust the author. I just don't trust that Jennifer L. Armentrout has any idea where the story is going, and these books are too long to be meandering around, so I just give up. I give up. But I will love to know the spoilers. So if you know anybody who's doing like spoiler vlogs, or shout out to Eliza, if you want to just DM me on Instagram and tell me what's going on in all the books, I would love that, because sure, I'm intrigued enough to want to know, but I don't want to read them myself. So I'm so sorry. God, those are heavy. And then another kind of like fantasy-like book, fantasy/contemporary, is The Time Traveler's Wife. I picked this up secondhand, and I really thought I was gonna love it because I love romance and I think time travel is so cool. But this just did not work for me. I just found it so yucky and icky and like disturbing and gross that I just couldn't read it. I got maybe like 15 to 20% of the way through, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. This is a story about a man who slips in and out of time, out of his control, and there's a romance between him and this woman, except he's known this woman since she was like 4 years old. So like, it just got weird with the fact that like he's time jumping as like an older man, like in his 40s, talking to like a little girl, knowing this little girl's gonna be his wife, and he's like sexualizing her, and it was just so icky. And like the time traveling, like I didn't get that far, but the time traveling didn't do anything besides like make this gross pedophile-esque relationship. Like that was the only purpose I was seeing with it, you know? Like what was the point of the time traveling besides giving a reason for this older man to like be like, it's okay for me to like sexualize like a prepubescent girl? Like, I hated it. That's enough said. I've talked about it in another vlog. I'll link it if you want to check out like my more detailed thoughts. But yeah, this is icky and it needs to leave my home. I'm sorry if you liked it. All right, moving into historical, I will quickly go through some of these. So the first one I have is The Marriage List. I won this in an ARC giveaway on Goodreads or something. I tried to read it. I didn't like the writing style. It doesn't need to stay here. I'm sorry. Somebody else can try. Then I have this next one. This is Tender is the Touch. I really had a fun time reading this. This is a book about a woman going out to Alaska to try to find a new life, and the man she is working for there. And he doesn't realize she's a woman, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this book. I had a good time. I got it secondhand, so I don't feel that bad getting rid of it and just making space on my shelves for something else, and hopefully someone else will enjoy this free book. Next, I kind of have like another moderately controversial unhaul. So I'm going to be unhauling the second book and the fourth book in the Lisa Kleypas Wallflowers series. So the second one is It Happened One Autumn, and then the fourth one is A Scandal in Spring. I did read all 4 books. I just happened to like pick these ones up secondhand, and then I read the other ones from my library. These were fine. These were cute. Lisa Kleypas I don't find to be like that spicy. Like sure, there's like a little bit of spice, but like I don't know. It just doesn't tickle me as much as some of the other books that I've enjoyed that are historical. So I think I might be passing on Lisa Kleypas. There are other historical romance authors that I enjoy much more, like Elizabeth Hoyt I really enjoy, and there are other people that I want to try. So I don't think I need to keep these. They were fine, fun times. I think they were like 3 stars pretty much. But yeah, I'm gonna unhaul these, and hopefully, like I've always said, I hope somebody else gets a chance to enjoy them. I have 2 more books I'm going to talk about. They're like super random. I have this book. This is Preventing the Next Pandemic. I like found this in my apartment building. Someone didn't want it. So it's like, oh, like free books. This was like before my shelf was like really full. And I was like, ooh, like more books for my shelves. And I picked this up, but like, I'm not gonna read a book about how to prevent the next pandemic. I'm ready to move on from pandemic stuff. So I'm not gonna read this. What am I doing? What was I thinking? And then the last book is The Defining Decade, Why Your 20s Matter and How to Make the Most of Them. This is actually really sweet. This was gifted to me by one of my college friends. I am gonna be turning 29 this year, so I'm like almost out of my 20s, so I think it would be really nice to pass this on to somebody else like trying to find themselves like in their early 20s who might need these words. I did read this book. I think I read at least most of it. I read probably like 80% of it, and like years ago, like when I was probably 22, 23, I read this. So yeah, I think with me leaving this defining decade very soon, I'm gonna pass this on hopefully to somebody who really needs the wisdom. So thank you to my friend for giving it to me, and I hope your gift can keep on giving to somebody else. Okay. All right, so those are all the books that I plan to unhaul. They'll probably sit in my apartment, honestly, for a little bit longer, like in a bag until I'm ready to like meet up with someone and be like, hey, do you want these? Or I'm gonna like make the hike to the Little Free Library. But they are officially off my shelves and they are gonna be making their way out of my home very shortly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will catch you in another video. Bye.